All right, everyone, good evening and welcome to the select board meeting of, what's today? Thursday, April 10th, 2025. We have Denise Luciano, we have Roger Marsan and myself, and Alec. Kevin is not available tonight and Alec may be here shortly. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have the appointment of Steve Bishop to the Water Sewer Commission. I think he's familiar with that position. Is he on? Steve, you on Zoom? No? Okay. Does anybody have any questions? You can ask Mr. Town Manager.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy?
Mike, is there any reason we shouldn't appoint you?
Nope, Steve is the current chair of the commission and does a great job.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy?
I make a motion that we appoint Stephen Bishop to the Water Sewer Commission.
I second.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. And now to reappoint Michael Toole as town constable. Do we have any questions here? I know Mr. Toole is here.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy. Mr. Marcy.
Mike, I see that we have the list. Is this all of the constables that we have?
It is.
And are they, I see that, because we just seem to have appointed Mike a couple of months ago.
We appointed Michael Hannigan a couple of months ago, and he was filling the remainder of a term. So now he's being reappointed to a 3-year term. And same with Michael, his is now it's a 3-year term.
Can we vote for both of these together?
You can.
Yeah, we can.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, so I'll just say we're also reappointing Michael Hannigan as town constable. So go ahead.
I make a motion that we reappoint Michael Toole and Michael Hannigan as town constables.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Congrats, Mike.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we have approval of minutes for February 13th, 2025.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marsan.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of February 13, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And we're going to cruise along. We have a special permit at, public hearing at 6:15, so we'll get through these here. We vote to approve a special events application for the Memorial Day Parade, scheduled for Monday, May 26, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Any questions on this one?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy.
I make a motion that we approve the special events application for the Memorial Day Parade scheduled for Monday, May 26, 2025, from 10 to 12.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next up, we have a one-day beer and wine license to Bob Madeus on behalf of Smoky Chestnut Farm for a public event at 98A Burt Street, Norton, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 3rd, a rain date of Sunday, May 4th.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy.
I see that we have 4 one-day beer and wine licenses. Can we just do them all at the same time for the same person at the same location?
Yeah, the motion should just say, approve the one-day beer and wine licenses for Bob Meadus on behalf of Smoky Chestnut Farms as listed on the agenda.
What he said.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy.
I make a motion that we approve the one-day beer and wine license to Bob Needus on behalf of Smoky Chestnut Farm on the following dates: May 3rd, August 9th, September 6th, and October 4th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., or as written on the agenda.
Is there a second?
Oh, sorry, second.
That's okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. So now we have a special events parking permit application of property owner Shane Berbidi for 36 parking spaces at 260 Mansfield Ave from May 15th, 2025 to October 1st, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, you have the application and the plan in your packet, and this is a location that there's been parking in the last several years.
Yeah, I remember this from the last few. Any questions?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy?
I vote that we approve the special events parking permit application, property owned by Shane Bervetti for 36 parking spaces at 260 Mansfield Ave from May 15th to October 1st, 2025.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next up is the special events parking permit of property owner, I'm going to not pronounce this right, Versito Brothers LLC for 56 parking spaces at 253 Mansfield Ave from May 31st, 2025 to September 30th, 2025.
And Mr. Chairman, this is also a location that all has come before you over the last several years.
Great.
Mr. Units, I apologize, I should have asked the last one as well, but any issues with either of these properties?
No, they haven't been. They do a good job.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy?
I make a motion that we approve the special events parking permit application for property owner Versito Brothers LLC for 56 parking spaces at 253 Mansfield Avenue from May 31st to September 30th, 2025.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, now we have the common vic license application of Arcelon Enterprises, doing business as Fat Cousins Pizza, to be utilized at 288 East Main Street, Norton, Mass. Mr. Enos, do you want to give us a background on this one briefly?
So this is a change of owner for that location that previously had a license. And everything has been signed off by the departments.
Okay. No other changes, just the owner, right? No hours or anything?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy?
through you, Mike, how many different owners has this business had in the past couple of years?
This particular Fat Cousins, this is the only change of owner, but there's been other businesses there. I'm trying to remember.
It seems like there's been a bunch of different pizza shops that have,
AJ's.
right, have run through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other
Is
questions?
the owner here?
Couldn't make it. No, we couldn't make it tonight.
Is there any reason that you would see that we shouldn't approve this?
No.
I was gonna say, I haven't gotten to the fact, but Jen, you do background checks on
Yes,
I make a motion to approve the common victualler license application of Arcelon Enterprises Inc., doing business as Fat Cousins Pizza at 288 East Main Street, Norton, Mass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we are 9 minutes in. See? Let's go on to announcements.
That was the easiest.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy?
I have several announcements. On Saturday, April 19th, 2025, from 10 to 4 p.m. at the Henry Yell Elementary School at 64 West Main Street, the Wreaths Across America mobile education exhibit will be coming into town. I encourage everybody to try to make their way over to the Yale School between 10 and 4 on Saturday the 19th. Wreaths Across America is a national organization that the town has been taking part in for the last several years, and it just gives a lot of information about their purpose and how they help out in the community. The Land Preservation Society of Norton invites you to a special event on May 3rd, 2 to 4 p.m. rain date is the May 4th for ribbon cutting at 2 p.m. Taunton Ave, 1.5 miles from Norton Common, at the L.A. Foster Wildlife Refuge. Enjoy enhancements to the self-guided trail, celebrate Norton's unique history and environment, pick up handouts for nature games and projects, and there'll be games and treats.
Can I speak to that, please?
You want to speak to it? Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Kathy Ebert-Zawalski, and Deb Cato is here too to talk a little bit about LPS. We thought this might be a good chance to either introduce you to or reintroduce you to the Land Preservation Society of Norton. And Deb will tell you a little bit about our organization, and then I'll just explain a little more about what our new project is.
I promise I won't take too much time, just a few minutes. So LPS was started around 50 years ago in the early 1970s. And since that time, we have accrued over 1,100 acres in Norton, 13 different properties, many of which have very well maintained trails that we invite the public to use all year long. And not only do we have this property that everyone can use, we have all kinds of events throughout the year that are educational events. And we partner with things like the whole public school system, from elementary school all the way through the high school and college, businesses in town, Conservation Commission in this town. And we focus on ecological importance of all our lands and preserving it, and also the history, the land history, and land use that has occurred in a lot of our properties. And so we are kind of reopening the LA Foster Land, as you said, and Kathy would like to tell you a little bit about what that day will entail, and we hope that if you have the time that you can stop by for just a little while.
Right, the actual ribbon cutting is at 2 o'clock, but we'll be there from 2 to 4, and it's really a walk through our extended trail. The trail, because of the wonderful partners we have, the trail has been extended, but in addition to that, they've added benches, and Deb and several of us were involved in putting in some interpretive signs. That's the first time we've done this on any of our properties. And this will certainly help people understand the history of this property as well as the ecology, both of which are extremely important. You may or may not know that that location was the site of the copper works, the Crocker Brothers Copper Works in the 1800s. And the water there was dammed and used in order to produce copper sheets, which you might wonder what they are for, but probably a function that is no longer necessary. But when ships were wooden, they were critical. The copper sheets protected the wooden house of ships. In addition, they made planchettes, which became some of our first pennies. So it's kind of an interesting history. And we have posters, and we have all kinds of things that explain the history. And especially Deb and I worked, and another person on our group who worked on ecology signs as well. Oh, by the way, when you're there, you'll be able to pick up one of our new little pamphlets, which is all about the Foster property. What I wanted to mention to you is, first of all, I think I lived in Norton for probably 40, maybe 35 years before I saw the Wading River. It's a terrible shame that people don't see it. But you know, the rivers in our town, they're not the big cascading rivers, they're the small, because of our elevation change, is not great. But the Wading River, as it turns out, is that what, the day I first saw it, I'll never forget it, bubbling, et cetera, et cetera. It was just really lovely. And I always wanted to let people know about it. So this is a good chance for you to see more about the Wading River itself and learn a little bit about how it has been used in the past. We are inviting you to this event because we think it's very important for more and more people to know about our events. As a matter of fact, I have an invitation for each of you separately, so you won't forget. You already have what you need, I see.
Thank you.
So this is for each of you. And we are going, I'll get back over here. We are going to ask you, if you are going to join us, that you use the Evite reply so that we have a sense of how many people are coming. We have thought ahead quite a bit and planned. This is on Route 140 on the way to Taunton, that direction, 1.5 miles that way. And we know that parking could be a problem with many of our properties, including this one. But we have the Grace Church, which is a short distance beyond us, has offered their space for parking. So we think that we can manage, and people hopefully will walk safely back to the property and join us there. I do want to mention, because I think it's very important, Deb did mention some of the folks who helped us out. John Thomas, of course, the Conservation Director, David Coddington of Norton High School, and many of his students helped. And they helped with putting up our signs and posters, interpretive signs. So it's critical to support the kids because they have helped us along the way, and they've done a great job. We have a marvelous historic plaque, a big one, and it's all about the history of the Crocker brothers that I mentioned earlier. A Wheaton intern did that for us. Wheaton interns have helped with some of the maps that we've created as well. And I want to mention Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, which is here in Norton, and they're a marvelous organization. They have helped us in many ways. The two main ways are they allow us to have volunteers. As a matter of fact, next week, a crew is coming to help us with one of our properties. They help us build benches and clear the trails. In addition to that, I just saw it on their website today, so I thought I'd mention it, why not, that they have been named a Newsweek Most Responsible Company in 2025. So I'm pretty proud of that right here in little old Norton, but I'm also proud of it because I know how responsible they are. We see those people working for us on our own trails. They are really amazing folks. The Mass Cultural Council likewise has supported us. So I think I've probably given you quite a bit of information. Just keep track of this. This has all the details that you need, and it's in your envelope. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I've probably taken more time than I
Mr.
should
Chair.
have. That's great.
Mr. Marcy, good.
Through you. I apologize if I rushed through this invitation that you had, and I really appreciate people who are having events coming in and speaking to them, so I look forward to seeing you there on the 3rd.
Thank you very much, Roger.
Thanks.
By the way, the representatives already responded, Howell and Chasen. They've
Right.
already responded, they're
Excellent.
coming too, so. It's
Great.
gonna be a
We'll
nice
get
day.
Feeny out there.
It's going to be a nice day.
Thank you. It's good having that background.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, one other brief announcement, really quick. Steve Warshall is on the, I can announce this, right? So, all right. Steve Warshall is running for planning board, and it looks like his first name is spelled wrong on the ballot. It's spelled with a PH and it's not, but it actually is Steve Warshall, so the current planning board member. And is there any more announcements?
I have one more announcement before you get to the public hearing, Mr. Chair. So this Saturday, we're having the Easter egg hunt. Will be at Norton Middle School gym. You can visit Peter Cottontail. There'll be face painting. They have a new sensory hunt at 2 p.m. The hunting schedule is at 2:30 for 2 to 3-year-olds, at 2:45 for 4, 5, and 6-year-olds, and 3 p.m. for 7 and 8-year-olds. For more information, you can contact Parks and Rec.
All right, excellent. Now we have a public hearing on the application of New England Auto Inc. for a Class 2 license to buy, sell, exchange, or assemble secondhand motor vehicles or parts thereof in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 140 of the Massachusetts General Laws to be utilized at 350 Old Colony Road in Norton, Mass. So we'll need to open the public hearing.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy.
I make a motion that we open the public hearing for the above stated cause.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No. Yeah, you should.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, we're going to roll call that vote. Denise?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I am a yes. Okay, so gentlemen, you can let us know your names and tell us a little bit.
Hello, my name is Carlos Moreira. I am the owner, the leader in our New England Auto. Oh, so I'm gonna help you with the language.
That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, long story short, we came to Norton around 2 years ago. We bought a business. Ended up being a a nightmare for us. So for somehow lucky day, I came across the landlord, and she met my dad, she met me, and we have a good chat, and we explained her the situation that we were, me and my dad, we were going through. And thank God she believed in us. We got the lease, and we're happy to be part of this town. We love it, and we've been in this business for a while. And this is our new adventure. Me and my dad, we're trying we plan to stay here for a while.
That's what I like to hear. All right. Do you have any questions for us?
What was your business called previously?
NE Auto.
Will you be working on any vehicles there?
No,
It's just for resale?
exactly, yes.
All right, and how many vehicles do you expect to have on the property?
If I'm not mistaken, the new site plan give us like a 28, 26? 26, yes.
I see 26 parking spaces.
26,
on the
yes.
plan here.
Yeah. All right.
And you won't have any oil or any,
No.
you're not doing the oil changes there on your vehicles coming in?
So the lot is pretty much for display cars that are ready to go. We are partnered with Northeast Automotive, which is not even 1 minute from our shop.
Yeah.
They take care of our repairs and stuff like that, and we detail the cars somewhere else. And so again, the lot is just for display when the cars are ready to go.
Do you have any other locations that you run your business?
No.
All right. Any other questions from the board? I think it's pretty straightforward on my end, so if there's any other questions, then I guess we can close the public hearing and then make a decision.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
I make a motion that we close the public hearing for the application of New England Auto at 350 Old Colony Road.
A second?
Okay, motion and a second. Denise?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I'm a yes. Let's close the public hearing, now we discuss it. So, any discussion on this? Again, I personally think it's straightforward, but
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
first, I appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate that you're a father and son doing this business. It makes my heart feel good that you're coming
Thank you.
to work with this business. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for that. And that you're helping your father really shows me the kind of person that he raised. So thank you for that.
I see that all the checks have been done. I don't see an insurance certificate in here, but you do have proper insurance for...
Of course. That was our first requirement in order to get the lease.
Okay.
There is a $25,000 bond within the application.
Okay. Sorry, apologize for missing
No
that, Jen.
All
I
right.
don't have any
Anything
more
else?
questions or any more
Okay.
discussion.
So then I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
I make a motion that we approve the license for a Class 2 license to buy, sell, and exchange or assemble second-hand motor vehicles or parts thereof in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 140 of Massachusetts General Law to be utilized at 350 Old Colony Road.
A second?
Okay, motion and a second. Well, I'll do roll call just in case. Denise?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I'm a yes. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, good luck.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, I just got a message from Alec. He's going to try to join Zoom to go through these articles. Zoom. Yeah. So maybe we can do some stuff below that until he gets on. Okay, vote to declare the water sewer department items as surplus. Anything on these, Mike?
There's a list. I can tell you there's a Chevy 350 chassis and a 2500 HD heavy-duty Chevy. And the other parts, I can't tell you what they are. But
Is this this handwritten list that's in here?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, any questions, folks? All right, take a motion.
Just one question, Mr. Chair, through you.
Yep, go ahead.
Does the water sewer department have a computer?
Yes.
I'll follow up to that, are you sure? Actually, no, the question should have been printer. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson.
I make a motion that we declare the listed water and sewer items on this list as surplus.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, update on the status, we'll pause that. There's no other business. Is Alec on yet?
Yes.
All right. Alec, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
All right, do you want to discuss the status update on the new town manager, hiring the new town manager, or do you want to postpone that to next week?
No, I can definitely update. Thursday night, we agreed on the ad that was going in the Beacon and the MMA publication, and those were to be submitted for this week, so those both should be, MMA website should be live already. The print will be the next print actual publication run, which I believe was 1st of May. And the Beacon is going live this week as well.
Okay,
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Marson.
Alec, how are these applications being returned to your group?
They are going to they're supposed to be going to a email setup. I'm not sure, Mike might have a little more information, but Charlene was going to be setting up a specific email inbox just for those, and they were going to go directly to the chair, Dinah O'Brien, and then she was going to get them to us for review as they come in for discussion for our next meetings, subsequent meetings.
And when is your board meeting again? Or when do you expect to be meeting again?
So it's every other Thursday, so it's going to be next Thursday night, and then every other Thursday after that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alec.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, I guess now we can go through the annual town meeting articles. I'm guessing we have to vote on everything we haven't voted on, right?
Well, you don't have to because you meet again next week, but
That's true.
the first item on the agenda is the recodification of the zoning bylaws. And that's a project that the planning board has spent a year on and had a consultant, one of the top-notch consultants in the state, worked with them on that to bring our bylaws in line with current Massachusetts laws. They did approve the recodification at their meeting on Tuesday night.
The planning board did, so FinCom hasn't reviewed it yet.
No.
So,
If it's
Mr. Chair,
recodification, I trust the planning board on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know, I know we typically wait for FinCom first, but I don't know if we necessarily need to in this.
I'm okay voting this if you guys are.
Yeah.
Alex, you have any questions on that one?
Personally, I haven't reviewed them. I just got the agenda packet today with the summary of them all. I haven't seen them, so I'm not prepared to vote on them. So.
Yeah, I've personally have seen these through meetings, so I'm again, I think I'm okay with it, so.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
when will the FinCom be looking at these things that we haven't voted on
I
yet?
think Monday, right? Potentially Monday.
I just feel more comfortable if we wait till after FinCom looks at any of these, just in case they have any issues with them. I don't know why, if we're gonna have a meeting next Thursday, we could just go through these pretty quickly after they did them.
Yeah, I was gonna say the meeting next week, we can wait till Alec is ready to vote.
I just as soon wait and get a recommendation from the FinCom before we go out ahead of them on anything.
But I'm fine with that.
The next article, Article 4, that's for tree services. This is something we've done every year, $31,000. And this is for the highway department when they have to call in a tree company to handle, that brings in a crane for some of the larger trees and also for their stump grinding. And I know at your last meeting, you asked about this. And I think I said he has $19,000 left from last year, so he'll be using that this spring. And there was some discussion at the Finance Committee. I don't think they voted one way yet, but there was discussion about putting this in the budget. And, they recommended to move it to the budget. So the issue there is if it goes in the budget, and something happens and someone can't get here in June and they have to get here in July, say, then the money goes back. It goes back and gets certified as free cash. If it's an article and he needs services done, it doesn't matter that the fiscal year ends on June 30th. The money's in the article, so it's there. It's there for his use. I don't see the benefit of putting it in the budget. I don't know why was a suggestion, but that's what was suggested at the Finance Committee.
Through your chair?
Go ahead.
If we know it's an annual expense that we anticipate, right, and it's part of the highway department, why would we not put it in the budget?
I guess because it's something they don't necessarily have to do every year. If we didn't want to fund it one year, we could say we're not going to fund it. We won't be able to call in an outside service this year. But I know just putting it in the budget, I mean, whichever way the board chooses to go, it'll just inflate their budget every year. If we say go up 3%, then they have an extra $31,000 to get it added in.
Well, the key to it being on an article is that it could roll over every year and not get put back to free cash. So I think it's good as an article.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Marson?
The only issue I have is that what if we have some year where we have a storm where he has to go over that amount? What does he do?
We can take what's left from the previous years and not have to go back to town meeting. I think I'd asked that question last time, or after last meeting. Right, what was left from last year is like 11,000 or something like that.
11,000.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I guess if the money is just sitting there, and it seems like it would be better used if it did roll back into the free cash so that we could use it someplace else if we needed to.
Through your chair?
Okay.
I mean, the emergency need for it, you could say about a million things that happen in town, right? This is no different than anything else. I don't know, so I don't see why we treat it differently.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I just don't understand why we want to just sit on this money as opposed to if they don't need it, then let's roll it back into free cash and use it someplace where we could use it.
Well, I think as the chairman said, they don't really sit on it. They spend it on almost every year. That's why at the end of the last fiscal year, there was $11,000.
I mean, maybe we should start asking for separate budget items for a bunch of things, just in case for emergency.
And I tend to like to listen to what the Finance Committee is saying as well. So if they're saying that they're recommending that it move into the budget, I'm trying to understand why we wouldn't want to do that.
All right, so let's skip this one, go to the next one.
We can vote on it. Right, you think? So we can vote on
No,
it.
Mr. Marcel was clear, he didn't want to vote on it until FinCom has.
FinCom already did.
They haven't voted on it yet.
That's FinCom said recommend to move to budget.
I just wanted, if we could, Mr.
Can I
Chairman.
speak, Mr. Chairman?
Ask Zach
Absolutely.
if it was a vote or just,
So your name, address, and your political affiliation? No, I'm just-
Zach Tiller, 3 Richmond Drive. I think, I'm only speaking for myself here, a lot of these budgets, and I'll pick on the schools because only because it's the largest budget. You see, okay, we get $30 million, whatever it is, but you never see the fixed and chairs expenses, which is huge because it's medical insurance. And then we have articles for mattress removal from the highway and this, that, and there's all these little pockets of everywhere. My personal view is they should have a budget. The tree services should be in the budget. The trash pickup that they have to do should be in the budget. And we have a FinCom emergency reserve fund that we fund to the tune of about $150,000 a year. Is that right, Mike? You could go to $200,000 a year. If there was a storm and, they needed some more money, they could always come to the FinCom for that. But my personal view is everybody's budget should be, I would even eliminate, but this is just my personal view, fixed and shared expenses and assign all that to each department. So when any member of the public looks at it, they can tell this is what it costs you for highway, this is what it costs you police. Because when you look at it now, the largest expense that's in there, which is medical and retirement benefits, is in a different bucket, which is, $10 million plus. But that's the way it's always been done.
So let's get back to the tree service. Did FinCom vote on that?
I believe that, don't hold me to it, but I believe we talked about putting it back in the budget, and I don't know where it went. I don't think we voted on anything really for funding yet. That comes next week. We're waiting for Mike's recommendations.
Okay.
It was all presented to us, but nothing's been voted on in
Okay.
regards to, I don't think, anything major financial.
Thank you, Mr. Tiller. So we'll skip that one.
Okay.
What do we have next? That FinCom has voted on.
Article 16, this is for the painting of the Everett Leonard Park Pavilion, $5,000 from free cash, and the Finance Committee recommended that 7-0.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marcy?
I make a motion that we recommend Article 16.
Is there a second?
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Through your chair. Painting of the Everett Park Pavilion is under which department? Like, why is that? I guess that's a one-time fee, so I'm okay with this one.
Yeah, recreation.
Recreation. Okay. I'll second it.
Okay, Alec?
Mr. Chair, I had a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
What did we do last year? We approved a bunch of money for over there last year. Did it not include any painting at all?
No.
I don't think it did. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No,
Mr. Ennis.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I don't remember it having painting on that one last year. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't painting.
I can't remember the confusion whether it came through capital or it did come to us as an article, but I believe there was a bunch of work that was done, carpentry, and I just don't recall if there was painting included in that or not. So apparently it was only the pieces of carpentry that they did, but it was a substantial carpentry project, if I remember correctly. And if Zach's in the audience, I think Zach might remember some of this as well.
Good,
I
Zach.
charge you guys a consulting fee here. We approved.
Whose budget's that coming out of?
We approved last year, there was rock repair around the building. Now, the painting is to protect that wood from rotting out again, seeing the work has been done. It came up, and I brought it up why it didn't go through capital, because it wasn't $10,000, it's gonna be $10,000 or more. And again, I said, why didn't it go in the budget? Because it would be an annual, and they wanted kind of the same thing we talked about. So they're doing it as an article to paint all the areas and paint those buildings after they completed the woodworking.
Thank you, Zach.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep. Is there a motion? Oh, we had a motion. Okay, so motion and a second, so we'll go Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes?
and I'm yes. Then we have number 10, 11.
Number 10 is the capital plan. You have that in your packets. This was also recommended by the Finance Committee. Just go over it quickly. So in the capital improvement plan, the recommendations are $35,000 for data processing, replacement of end-of-life equipment. The police department, they put in $210,000 for 3 cruisers. Right now, the capital committee is recommending $140,000 for 2 cruisers. Electronic weapons, $21,000. This is a program that's been going on for a few years now. This is year 3 of that. The fire department, capital recommends $30,000 for turnout gear replacement, and that would be split 50-50 between ambulance and fire, ambulance and capital, excuse me. The pumper and the tower truck replacement, year 2 of 5, $649,800 out of ambulance reserve, and station rehab repairs, $300,000 out of ambulance reserve. The animal control officer replaced his van, $80,000 out of capital. Norton Public Schools. This is fire device mitigation at the middle school. $48,288. The indoor carpet at the LGN in the main office in the library, $25,000. And the tech displays at the Norton High School on a 3-year rotation, $35,000. The highway department, year 5 of 5 of their Peterbilt dump truck, $28,150. And a roof replacement project, $640,000 to be borrowed. And in the sewer department, so you'll see a Ford Explorer at $26,000. Like, wow, how are they getting it for that cheap? But it's split $26,000 out of sewer and $26,000 out of water for that replacement. Also, the Cobb Street Sewer Pump Station Phase 3, $250,000. And in water meter and transmitter, radio read boxes, computer and software upgrades for that, $175,000. So the $276,000 in sewer projects would come out of sewer retained earnings, and the $201,000 in water projects would come out of water retained earnings. So in the end, from capital, $427,438. From the ambulance reserve, $964,800. Total borrowing, $640,000. Sewer surplus retained earnings, $276,000, and water surplus retained earnings, $201,000.
All right, questions?
So,
Finance Committee voted 11-0 to recommend.
so the only, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Marson?
The only thing that we're going out to borrow is for the new roof for the highway garage.
Correct.
Through you,
Okay,
Chair.
anything else? Yep, go ahead.
Mike, how much did we spend last year, 2025, for capital improvement?
How much did we spend? I can tell you what we spent out of the capital improvement fund was $987,000 last year.
So this is significantly higher than what we,
Yeah, it's at 2.5.
Oh, I don't have in front of me with the total.
The capital
That's just
improvement
what came out
fund
of
this year is
capital
427.
gotcha.
I mean,
So you're talking about just, gotcha. So you're not talking about like the ambulance fund, all that stuff, you're just talking about the capital reserve?
Right.
All right,
So if you were to look at that 649,800, this is 2 of 5, so that would have been in last year's capital.
okay, thanks.
Okay, Alex, do you have any questions?
I do not.
I just have a couple of quick questions. Mike?
Yeah.
How much is in the ambulance reserve fund?
The ambulance reserve fund right now, when this report was run, had $3,363,291.
And same thing for water and sewer.
Water retained earnings, $3,794,832, and sewer, $3,241,792.
Thank you. Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
I make a motion that we recommend Article 10.
Second,
Okay, all in favor? Oh, sorry, Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
yes.
Roger,
Yes?
and I'm yes. Okay. Now it's 12 Hill Street, Rand number 11.
Mr. Chairman, so Article 12 in the warrant is to allow the select board to agree to a pilot agreement with the current owners of that property. It's been there for a while and they have not had a pilot. We do have a pilot payment in lieu of taxes on most of the solar facilities in Norton, but these people were reluctant. And now they've come forward and the assessor is working on finalizing an agreement with them, and hopefully it would happen for you at your next meeting. But, so this would guarantee the town, the agreement she's working on is similar to other agreements that we have on properties with the amount per kilowatt that they pay. So right now, we're not receiving any money, no taxes from that property, so this would be a good win for the town.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Marson?
So, we don't know how much that payment will be?
We'll know next week,
How did FinCom vote on it without knowing?
because they were just authorizing the select board to negotiate and enter into an agreement. As the article says, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to negotiate and enter into a payment in lieu of taxes, also known as a pilot or tax agreement on that property.
Okay, so this article is just to allow the select board to negotiate. Okay.
Yep.
Mr.
So
Chair?
yeah, I'm okay to vote on this. Alec, do you have any questions?
The finance committee recommended 11-0.
Looking at the screen like he's gonna answer me.
Alec?
All right, Mr. Marson, you had something? Or were you gonna motion?
I make a motion that we recommend Article 11.
A second,
Okay, Alec, you're with us, you're on mute if you are.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Denise,
yes.
Roger,
Yes.
and I'm yes. All right, are we gonna discuss number 17? I think we should,
Okay?
yeah. What do you think? Anyone else?
I mean, we waited for FinCom for the others, we should probably FinCom for this one too, right?
I mean, I personally don't think we need to wait for FinCom for the planning board stuff, but
I would like to hear what the FinCom has to say, because I have quite a bit to say about that.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Rich.
I have no problem, talking and voting about this as well.
Yeah, I'm personally fine voting for this tonight. I think this has been discussed ad nauseum, and I think waiting for FinCom, everybody already has their opinions on this. So do we want to discuss it, or?
I'm indifferent, we just voted to hold off other ones to wait for FinCom, that's why I said that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why we would hold off on anything that doesn't, I mean, if it doesn't have to do with money, then we shouldn't be voting on it. Because FinCom waits for us. Hang on one second. FinCom waits for us to vote on certain things, and, I mean.
I don't
Go
mind
ahead, Russ.
discussing it if you want, Mr. Chair, I don't mind discussing it if you want to have a discussion about this article.
I'd love to have a discussion and a vote on this and just get it off the plate. Too many things we kicked down the road.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
So at Tuesday's planning board meeting, they chose a site for this zoning bylaw overlay. I'm not sure it's what's best for the town, is what has happened on Tuesday night. I feel that the state has come in and come up with an arbitrary number of units of housing that we should have without discussing it with the town at all. And they gave us the option of where we should put it, but not if we wanted it at all. And all they did is have us fight amongst ourselves to decide where we want to put it. I feel what's best for the town is to not necessarily do everything that the state says that we should do just because they say it should be done. I am not sure that this article will pass as it sits now, and I think it's going to put us in a worse spot than we were before last Tuesday. I'm not sure if anybody else has any other thoughts on it.
Through you, Chair.
Go ahead, Denise.
It sounds like there was a pretty fruitful discussion on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend.
Very short one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend and haven't had an opportunity to watch it before this evening's meeting. Since we are meeting next week, I'd like to request to hold off till next week so I can have an opportunity to review that.
Well, I think if everybody else is ready to vote, I don't see why we would hold off on this. This is, again, been discussed at our meeting how many times now? It's at least a dozen planning board meetings, open meetings, closed meetings. I mean, there's, Alec, do you have anything to say? And then I'll say my piece and then we can.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All I was going to say was, my personal feelings. I happen to agree with Mr. Marsan in a lot of those points. In that, I don't think they are the best parcels with the other choices that were identified and available for the long term for the town. I think these parcels that were identified all but made it a guarantee that these would be developed in the future, and I don't think they're the best places, in my opinion, that they should be built. I think that there's other parcels that they had identified that, in my opinion, would have been a better choice for the overlay. So personally, I'm not that speaks for itself where I'm at with it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rich. And my 2 cents on it, I agree with Mr. Marson and Mr. Rich on basically everything they said. I think the last town meeting, the planning board was given a mandate. I don't feel that they followed that mandate, unfortunately. I think there are definitely better places. These ones that are picked, at least one of these, the one on Mansfield Ave, can be built, within the next year. There'll be something there, and that's not what I feel. And this is, again, my opinion. It's not what I feel the town wants or requested at the last town meeting. One other thing I did notice, and I'm not going to call anybody out by name, but I do disagree. I heard something during the meeting of we need to be unanimous in our vote. I think that is something that should never be said by anybody on any of these boards. I think we all should have our own votes and be allowed to express our opinions without any rebuke. So unless there's anything else, I would like to see a motion. But
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Marson.
Just one more thing that I just wanted to bring up was that 2 weeks ago when we had our joint meeting with the FinCom and with the planning board, we had someone who came in and made a presentation and basically said that the more affordable housing you build, the better off you are tax-wise in the long run. And he used Mansfield as one of the towns that they had done their survey in. And I just see today that Mansfield is going for a Prop 2.5 override again. So I don't understand how we are going to be in a better position if we build more so-called affordable housing, not knowing what the cost of that housing is going to be until after it's built and it's determined by the builder and not by anybody else.
I mean, I could go through and nitpick everything that was said on Tuesday night, but a couple of quick things is the comparison to East Main Apartments as far as the amount of children in the schools is not a comparison to lower income or lower cost housing. It's just not. And somebody mentioned during a joint meeting, show me the numbers, show me somebody who's an expert that'll say differently that it's going to cost us money. I've been in the real estate industry 20 years, and the low-income units will bring more children to the schools comparatively to East Main. That's a fact. That's my experience and that's my opinion. So, with that said, I'll take a motion if there is one.
I would request again to hold till next week so I have an opportunity to watch Tuesday's meeting. But you guys can certainly outvote me.
Okay. I guess we're going to kick it down the road again.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Marson.
I would not consider it kicking it down the road to give another board member the opportunity to see a meeting that was pivotal to the deciding factors of where it took place. So I'm not uncomfortable. We're waiting on several other articles till next week, and I think this one could be just as easily moved to next week. I'm pretty sure that the vote isn't going to change, but I don't think that we should discount a member's quest to make sure that they're informed when they make a decision.
Okay. Well, this is where you and I disagree, Roger, because I think that these choices have been made public for months and months, and discussions have been on for months and months. The only thing different would be the decision and the same people speaking at a meeting. But again, we'll move on. Is there any other articles, Mr. Units?
No. Just one on the special town meeting warrant. This is just a prior year, under prior year bills. The Finance Committee recommended 7-0 from free cash, $630 to cover invoices from Encore Fire Protection. This is for work down at the highway garage. The bills came in August for work that was done in the prior fiscal year.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
I make a motion that we recommend Article 1 at the special town meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
Second?
Okay, Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I'm a yes. All right, do we have any other business? I don't think so. The memorandum of understanding, did anybody give notes to Mr. Units on this? As we were supposed to? I didn't.
I did not have to give notes, but I have a few questions.
Go ahead. Or do we want to discuss it, or do we want to, wait?
I think next week, Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Alec.
I think next week, I think everybody, better get.
Well, we can all give our notes, but if Denise has questions, we can.
Yeah, just stuff to
Yeah.
include for next week perhaps. Do you have the schedule of the other rooms from the other facilities yet? And is there gonna be a schedule of the pricing for what those rental fees would be for external relations?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to have some conversation with you people on that.
Okay,
Because there are outside groups now that are looking to use the facility here. And not looking to make a killing on it, but people like the police department had a training in here all day. So, and what was a lot of area police departments. So different groups like that come in, there should be some charge
Yep.
to cover the electrical costs. So we'll work on something and come in with some suggestions next week.
okay, sounds good.
Okay. Was that it? Did you have more, Denise?
That was it.
Okay, thank you. Now the town manager's report.
Yeah, I just want to announce a few grants. I want to thank Chrisana, Paul DiGiuseppe, Megan Harrow, and John Thomas, working to apply for a grant for $109,210 from the state. And this will be used to start the digitization process. So this, from what some of the discussions we had before we went out to bid with companies, looked like this might be enough to get 4 of the departments done: Board of Health, Conservation, Inspection, and Planning. And then we'll look, see how this works out and see which departments we move on to from there. But, I mean, that's a nice grant to receive, and they put in a lot of work to get that.
Through your chair.
Okay.
Just worth noting at the bottom of the letter, I see it's contingent upon the MBTA plan being passed. Okay.
And also, we received a SAFE grant as part of the SAFE grant program. There's 2 now. We received $4,947.98 and $2,363.35 for the senior program. So this helps the fire department go out into the schools and also to the seniors to discuss fire safety. And the state says this has helped in reducing injuries and deaths. And it's something that they work on every year. And the other one that the fire department received is $9,500 in a fire safety equipment grant. They're going to use this to replace a thermal imaging camera.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Units. Is there any report and mail? All right, if not, I approve the warrants as written. Our next meeting will be Thursday, April 17th. That's next Thursday at, we'll do 7 p.m., right? I think we talked about trying to get them later.
Works for me.
All right, excellent.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marzian.
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Alec.
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes?
And I'm a yes. Thank you, guys.
Hey Kevin, Zach, how you been?